why did Telstra Super choose to sponsor these awards?
Telstra Super has always had a strong foundation of creating inclusive cultures, both for our employees as well as for our members, in everything that we do. And these awards in particular have been really important to us because it's a chance to celebrate organizations that are doing something about equality. And we know it's a challenge in society. We know as a super fund that women retire with less money than men. And so organizations that are taking a stand and that are actively making progress is something to be celebrated, and we wanted to celebrate those organizations.
Awesome, thank you. And tell us a little bit about some of the gender equity initiatives, both internally and externally, that you're doing.
Sure. So internally, probably the latest one, and that has caused, I think, some wonderful excitement in the organization, is we now pay superannuation on a full-time basis when somebody returns from parental leave. So if they return part-time, they get their superannuation paid at a full-time rate. And we know this makes a huge difference, especially because it's often women who come back part-time. And so it makes a huge difference to their retirement in the long term, and we're able to impact their families and their lives into the long term. So we wanted to do something that would start to create a systemic change, and that would help to create a long-term change. That's something that's we've done internally most recently, and externally we've done a lot of work with our First Nations members. We were one of the first super funds where we removed the need for the traditional forms of identifications, because we know our First Nations members don't always have, the standard birth certificate and, Medicaid cards and those sorts of things. So we wanted to create a way for them to still be able to get their money, but do it in a way that is congruent to their culture.
And so it's just appropriate that you're the sponsor for the
Correct.
First Nations Award.
Exactly. And and this year we did our first wrap, so we do have a deeper commitment to supporting and recognizing First Nations. So yes, it was just a wonderful alignment to be the sponsor of those awards.